Good morning. We're on lesson 130 for language today, starting on page 212, and we're doing placing adjectives correctly. So if you'll follow along in your book, we'll do a couple examples and look at what we're working on, and then we'll start in the book examples and problems doing that together. So page 212, I hope you have that and that it's open to it. And we're going to look in the blue box together as we read through what we're trying to illustrate and correct in our writing to make sure we have adjectives in the right place. So it says, to avoid misreading, make sure your adjectives in a sentence modify nouns or pronouns that they are intended to modify. Note how the meaning of the sentence is changed simply by changing the position of that phrase from England. Because a lot of times prepositional phrases actually work as adjective phrases. Remember those questions we said adjectives answer, which one, what kind, how many, how much, or whose. Prepositional phrases often fill in that function and actually modify nouns or pronouns. So a man from England read a book about a missionary. A man read a book from England about a missionary. And a man read a book about a missionary from England. So that small phrase can change the meaning of the sentence depending on what noun or pronoun it would be next to and what it's modifying. One-word adjectives always should be close to the words they modify. Misplaced. A barn stood by the farmhouse, large and red. It just sounds off to us because you are used to hearing correctly when we put adjectives close to the words they're modifying. So better, a large red barn stood by the farmhouse. That sounds better to us because you're used to having adjectives placed in the correct way. Look at the next bold statement. This is really what we're going to focus in on today, on this page especially. Adjective phrases should come immediately after the words they modify. Misplaced. Alyssa served hot dogs to her friends on paper plates. Okay. Gives us a very interesting image about what her friends are doing and why that would be entertaining. So better would be Alyssa served hot dogs on paper plates to her friends. Okay. So if you're looking at an adjective phrase, you want to make sure it's in the right spot. So we're going to practice putting it in the right spot by circling it and drawing an arrow to what that phrase should be modifying. So our first one, we saw the boy riding his bicycle with cowboy boots. I do know several people that would buy a bicycle if it had cowboy boots, but we know this phrase is certainly not modifying the bicycle. It should be right here. We saw the boy with cowboy boots riding his bicycle. Okay, another image that's interesting. The dog ran across the road with the shaggy hair. Okay, immediately in your mind you picture a road with shaggy hair and you know this is not sounding accurate or correct at all. So we want to make sure this adjective phrase comes right after the noun it's supposed to be describing. The dog with the shaggy hair ran across the road. So on exercise A, think A, I'm going to pull that up here. We're going to do that together as we circle adjective phrases that are in the wrong place and put them in the right place. Thank you. All right, thank you. So let me pull that up here so that we can all see the same thing. And we'll fix the first few together, and then I'll give you some time to correct the other ones, and we'll go over the answers. So it says the following sentences contain misplaced modifiers. We're going to circle each misplaced modifier, that's an adjective phrase, and draw an arrow to where it should be, just like we did in the examples. So today a man told us about his encounters with wild animals from a mission board. Obviously wild animals don't come from a mission board. That should be obvious. Sorry, picking, he wants a nice circle. This should be right after man. Okay. So we're going to circle the phrase that needs to be fixed. We're going to draw an arrow to where it should be. Today a man from a mission board told us about his encounters with wild animals. So number 2, the swan swam in the lake, white and graceful. A lake may be white, but I'm pretty sure it can't be graceful. We're going to leave the period where it is. And we understand we would have to put in commas at some point, but we're just showing where it belongs. The swan, comma, white and graceful, comma, swam in the lake. Then we can have the period. Okay? Number 3, again, gives us an interesting image. A woman stood on the sidewalk in a red silk dress. Obviously, this is not where it belongs, but it would describe women. Let's do 2 more together, and then I'm going to give you time to pause the video and finish the rest of the section. A man looked at several used cars with false teeth. Unless you're looking at Mater, that's not going to work. A man with false teeth looked at several used cars would make a lot more sense. Last one together, before you go on and finish, then we'll check your answers. A cowboy was riding a beautiful stallion, with a 10-gallon hat on his head. Again, this prepositional phrase is very misplaced, although Emma would love to see a stallion with a 10-gallon hat on its head. So a cowboy with a 10-gallon hat on his head was riding a beautiful stallion. Go ahead and finish sentences 6 through 9. Pause the video, then we'll come back while I scroll this up, and we'll check to make sure you got the correct answers and put them in the right places. My husband's giving me some technical assistance. Yeah, in just a second, thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and check what you did for sentences 6 through 9. The questions baffled the students on the chalkboard. Knowing this class, there might be a couple of you that would be true about, that you would be on the chalkboard. But hopefully this didn't baffle you. All right, the questions on the chalkboard baffled the students. Number 7, the man just became the father of a baby boy in the brown suit. Ooh, that's not straight at all. I'll fix it later. That man in the brown suit just became the father of a baby boy is how you should have it. Number 8, the man was walking his dog in bedroom slippers. Cute image, but we want to make sure it's describing the right thing. Oh, you got it? All right, and then number 9, the boy went to see the dentist with a toothache. First of all, if I had a dentist with a toothache, if he couldn't help himself, I would not want to go to that dentist. It would make far more sense to say the boy went to see the dentist, or sorry, the boy with a toothache went to see the dentist. Okay. We're going to skip this for now, and we are going to move on to page 213, Think A, and we're going to do that part together because it's got several directions all in the same thing. You got that? Awesome. Thank you. Now if I can just, I can't even see it. I know, I can't. Hold on.
No, when you're controlling the mouse, look into your whiteboard, not your computer.
Okay. Thank you. Alright, let's see if I can zoom in a little more. Again, it's a little curved because the book page was curved when we did this. But notice we've got several different directions. First of all, we're asked to underline the proper adjectives. Then, step 2, we're asked to circle the common adjectives except the articles. Do you remember those? You should remember and the are the articles. And then step 3, draw an arrow from each adjective to the word that it modifies. Let's just go step by step first and underline any proper adjectives. Sentence 1, we shouldn't see any. Sentence 2, I have French, And I have German. It's not talking about a German, like as in a person. It's coming before something, so we can see that is a proper adjective. There's nothing here other than appellation. And I'm going to stop at number 5. We're going to do those ones together. And then again, I'll let you pause and finish and we'll check over the answers. Okay, step 2. Circle the common adjectives. All right. We've got quick and brown. We don't want to circle the article. We've got lazy. Okay, and then we have to draw an arrow from each adjective to the word it modifies. Well, brown is describing fox, but so is quick. We can join those 2 arrows together. Lazy is modifying dog. Okay? It's either answering the questions, which one, what kind, how many, whose, or how much. All right, French, bread, toasted, and German, sausage. Sentence 3, I see sticky, modifying tape. Did a good, that's an adjective, it's describing or modifying job. Holding the rough. And then this, I would count this as a compound noun because construction paper is a specific thing. It's not really